Hello and welcome to Geology 101 Online. Glad to have you in the class. You've made it this far to log into the class in D2L. Great. This short video is just going to give you a quick introduction to the class, the various components of the class, and how to get started. So first of all, here we are on the main page of our course in D2L. A little bit about me. This is me. I'm Noah Fay, the instructor for the class. This is a picture of me in the Grand Canyon near at one of the most important geologic features in the world called the Great Unconformity. And if you want to learn a little bit more about that and see it up close and personal, you can click on this link here and it's going to take you to the video that I made there. I've taught this class numerous times. I've been teaching at Pima this is my 11th year, and I really enjoy doing it. I also teach some face-to-face classes. And so if you're ever interested in taking another class, you might end up in one of mine as well. So here we are. This is the main page of the class. In this box here is where announcements will appear. This will be the main way in which I communicate with the class by way of this announcement tool. I will also occasionally, in unusual circumstances, send emails to the entire class with something that's urgent or something that doesn't quite work for the announcements tool, but this is the main thing where I will communicate with you. You need to make a regular habit of checking the main D2L page and looking for new announcements. So the announcement that you see here is a welcome statement and an explanation of how to get started with the class. So I'm just going to walk through this quickly and explain the information that's here. So first of all, there is a link for the class schedule. Possibly the most important document that you need to look at again and again is our class schedule. So if I click that, I get a new tab here which shows in a nice spreadsheet format the class schedule. And so the class is organized into these things called modules. You can think of them as chapters. It's just how the class is broken down into pieces, and there are 16 modules. Each one has a start date, that's when you can first access the material in that module, and each one has an end date, aka a due date, when everything in that module is due. This column explains the topic, what we're covering, what relevant chapters from the textbook, and over here, these 4 columns are the things that you have to do during that module. Every module has a short quiz. Most modules have an assignment. Most modules have an online discussion, and there are 3 exams sprinkled roughly evenly throughout the semester. The last column explains when a couple of field trips are, which I'll explain here more momentarily. So let's go back to this page and again talk a little bit about how the class is organized. It's organized by modules. Think of those as chapters. Each module contains a number of pieces. There are some readings from the free textbook. There are some videos that I have produced, that other geology colleagues have produced, and some that we found online that are useful to help you understand the content. Each module contains a short quiz. There are only 10 questions and they only take 15 minutes. Most modules contain an assignment. Some of them you will have to print things out and do by hand and turn back in. Some things you'll be able to do digitally and turn in that way. There are some hands-on assignments which involve handling mineral and rock samples, and there's a mineral and rock kit that you need to purchase, or if you're near a Pima Community College campus, you can use one on some of our campuses. We have them for short-term loans. And so this link explains the things that you need to buy for the class. Most modules also have online discussions. These generally will last 2 weeks, and they're on a specific topic, often involve watching a video and commenting and discussing with your classmates. There are 3 exams throughout the course, roughly evenly spaced, and each of those is open for 2 weeks. In other words, you have 2 weeks to complete it. And this field trips part, geology is a field-based science. It is not optional to do geology only indoors. You do have to get outside and see rocks and other features in the way they actually are outside. And so there are 2 required field trips for this course. There are a number of ways of completing that requirement. You can go on an instructor-led trip, or you can do it yourself in a couple of different ways. And so the field trips page explains how to do that, and there are further details in the Module 13 and 14 assignments. You can do the field trips really any time during the semester, but they have to be done by the end of Module 13 for the first one and by the end of Module 14 for the second one. Okay, in terms of our schedule, class this semester starts on a Thursday, which is a little awkward. And so the first two modules have slightly modified dates, but then at module 3 through the end, there's a regular pattern to it. So in general, the modules will open on a Tuesday morning. That's when you'll start having access to the material. And it will close, meaning everything is due on the following Monday night. So you start on Tuesday, you have all week through the weekend, and Monday, everything is due on Monday night. The two exceptions, because of this weird Thursday starting thing, is that Module 1 opens on Thursday, August 22nd, and it closes on the following Tuesday night, August 27th. Module 2 then starts the next day, opens on on August 28th, and closes on the following Tuesday night, September 3rd. Module 3 then opens the next day and is due on the following Monday, etc., etc. So in this class, we'll have two textbook resources that we'll use. Both of them are free and both are available online. And so the required material page explains how to access those. So here we are. What do you do now? So if this is your first online course at Pima Community College, or first ever for that matter, you really should go check out what the college has put together called the Orientation to Online Learning. This is to make sure that you are clear on how an online course works, and just to make sure that it's right for you, because to be honest, they're not right for everybody. And so if you go to the D2L homepage, which I'm just going to scroll up here and show you how to get there. So here we go. There's this little house symbol, little home symbol, I guess. You click that, it will take you to the D2L homepage, and that Orientation to Online Learning will be there as one of your available courses. It only takes an hour or two to complete, and so it's worth checking out, especially if this is your first course. All right, next thing to do is go to the content area. I'll show you where that is here in a second. And there'll be some links for Read Me First and all of the syllabus materials. It contains all the policies, procedures, and nitty-gritty details for the class, like how grading works, how many points each thing is worth, etc. So you're going to want to check that out before you get started. Then, once you're ready to dive into course materials, you can go to the content area, Module 1, click on this thing called the Module 1 main page, and get to work. There's readings, there's videos, and a number of other things. Once you're done with that stuff, you can move on to the assignment, quiz, and discussion. So finally, if you ever had any questions about the course, if it's something very general, something about content, something you don't understand, or something about when something is due, anything that might apply to another student, please post it in the general questions in the discussions area. It's an online discussion that we're just going to use for you to post questions and for me to respond so that everyone can see them. If you have a specific question, something that only pertains to you, like something about your grade or something like that, then email me. That's the best way of contacting me quickly. All right, let me show you where stuff is in the class. Scroll up to the top of the page. Up on the top here, there are these links. They're kind of like tabs. One is content. That's the main one you're going to use to access course materials. And in this other one, assessments, if you click the little arrow, there's other things hiding in there. That's where you get to the assignments, the discussions, the gradebook, the quizzes. All right, so let's first start with content. If I click content, on the left-hand side, there's the table of contents. Here's the Read Me First and syllabus area. So there's a number of documents here to get you oriented to the class. There's one here for accessing the online textbook. Here's the textbook, and here's the lab manual, which we'll use just a few pieces of. And then on the left here is Module 1. So here's Module 1, and Module 1 has main page. Let me click on that. And here it is. They often start with a nice picture, an introduction to tell you sort of what to expect in this module in terms of content and what you're about to do. There's often a number of very high resolution, nice images that you can click on that are relevant for the course material. There's this discussion of the objectives, so in other words, the things we want you to learn. And then here we go. Here are the things that you need to do in order to learn those and do those learning objectives. There's some readings from the textbook. There's some videos that are some readings related to the video, and there's often readings related to the content. and there's often some videos that we've produced or that we found that are useful from the web. We keep scrolling down. There's a directions on the discussion, the online discussion with myself and your classmates. There's another page related to the assignment, and then some instructions related to the quiz. Each main page will look approximately like this one, with some additions, some subtractions, but the structure is largely the same. All right, let's scroll back up to the top. So this is the content section, and we were just looking at Module 1. The other place to go look is the assessments area. In here you can find assignments. This is where you will upload your assignments into specific upload folders. Discussions is where you'll access online discussions. Grades is where you can see your grades. Once you've done a few assignments, those will automatically appear in the gradebook. And the quizzes tab is what it sounds like. This is where you access the quizzes for each module. All right, so let's go back to the course homepage. Here we are again. Again, if you have any questions, you can do two things. If they're general, that might apply to other students, please go to the discussions area and post them in the general questions area so that everyone can see them. If it's specific to you, send me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, great. I look forward to the semester.